Okay, so it's 4:30 on Thursday, and the storm that came once it got here, I don't know what it was like over by where I used to live, but when it came here, I just heard tons of thunder. It was like a lot of big loud thunder, and I kept thinking I just got to be lightning. But when I did look out, I did see lightning, but it wasn't like so dramatic. It was lighting up the tent or anything. And then there was like this downpour, and it's like it all lasted like a half hour, and then it was over, and it was just like totally quiet. So it wasn't even like a lot of wind. It was like a one big wind gust went through and things rattled, and then that was it. It was gone. So I don't know where it's going next, if it's going to get worse. I don't know how bad it was, where it came from, if it was just a bunch of hype. So I don't know. I guess I'll see. When I'm going on to TikTok to check and see, like what's going on in the world, the my algorithm is weird. It's like they're totally doing something to the algorithm or something. It's like they're trying to block something. And every time I walk upstairs and go through that room, they're always talking about the same motherfucking thing. They're talking about this fucking whatever. It's so ridiculous because it's just a show. But talking about some text or some group message, and it went to a reporter, so he was in on some conversation or something. I don't know, whatever. And they were going at it, oh well, is it this, is that, well, could he be impeached, is it a crime, like all this shit. It's just like, oh my god, the nonstop talking about this when it just really seems like it, who fucking cares. Like, then it's like they want people to focus on this for some reason. Like some of the things, it's just like they just want you to focus on this weird shit. And I don't know if it's to show you something, because still, like, what did the space shuttle thing show? Like, I don't know. I don't know what in people it woke up or what it started in conversations. One thing that I have noticed, though, like, I don't feel angry or whatever, my brothers and stuff. I'm disappointed that my one brother isn't more, like, I see a different side of him than I didn't see before. And it's very surrender. And I keep saying to my mom, because I look at everything through this psychological kind of perspective, through spirituality. Like, I'm not a Western medicine psychology. I'm looking at things through spiritual perspective. And there's like there's like things playing out in the thing. Like, you can see the people's roles, like you can see them playing the roles and stuff. And for him to like submit his health over and have, is there something, maybe have some big dark thing rubbed on my nose. I don't know. I can't see. Every time I turn, I keep thinking, is there something on my nose? That's like, you sit there talking the whole time, and it's like some big distraction of some kind of thing. So anyways, I don't know if there was something. I keep seeing things all the time. It's the weirdest thing. And I keep seeing these light flashes. It's really weird. So weird. It's like inside my brain and outside my brain at the same time. It's like these big flashes, and it trips me out. Anyways, and it kind of picks up, and as I'm like letting go of myself or something, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know how to explain whatever it is I'm going through, because I don't feel real. Like, I don't feel real or something. I feel like I'm just in a dream. and and things don't seem like that they matter that much. And see, to me, it seems more important to me at this time in the awakening to stand firm in my beliefs against the 3D. Like, and if they want to believe in the 3D, but if we all just continue to play along, then how does it break? We have to be comfortable enough to say, no, that's not real. That's not real. And when people are succumbing to death and stuff like that, it's like this thing. It's like it's not like looking at death like right. It's like not looking at any of the stuff right. And so it's like a miscalculation. And how long are we going to just let people sit there and do this problem over and over with a miscalculation before we say, like, this is, you got to look at this other thing, you got to see. And death isn't real. When you are playing into it, there's a lot of things playing out, but in watching the whole ceremonial thing, everybody has a role and a part to play, and then to see my brother just like succumb to surrender his health over to these people, especially. And then what comes to me, so in my algorithm, even though it's funky, so after I had said that about the opioid crisis and stuff, and was, laughed off the thing, get off the internet, crazy. Yesterday, see, this is what's so funny too. So yesterday, what comes to me when I go on is this new song this girl has written, and she's from Kentucky in the Appalachian, and she's singing about what they did to the miners, and you can't trust she has some really good lines. One of them was, you are with somebody else's, oh God, I can't think of it. But she points out that the doctors are getting kickbacks. They're getting paid for you to be sick, and yet you're trusting them with your health. And that's how I look at it. But it was just so funny that it was like, I almost, my mom was like, well, maybe you should send that to him. I was like, he was not even on social media. He won't look at it at all. And then there's other people, though, who have commented, because, I'm just an irrational, emotional woman, I guess. And who needs to reel it in. And because I had some thoughts about that too, the reeling it in. But I've had some conversations about it, so I don't remember. But anyways, if it was like something that was anyways, there's like a lot of information's going in, and it's like I've got to capture it. And so anyways, this whole little three-dimensional play that is happening in their lives, it's like this, it's like the lower chakra, it's like the NPC, it's the living on autopilot. It's just doing what is expected. And I can see when you're turning your health over to somebody else, then it's like you feel like you owe them something. It's your last thing that you can give to them, And my mom got some call from somebody yesterday over one of their friends or one of their brothers or somebody, because everybody, when you're older, is like cancer is big talk on their phone lines, and they're all like trying to find things and stuff. So a lot of them are out looking for things, but they're all trying things. And so this guy who just got diagnosed, and my mom was like all upset because she's like, he's trying everything. He's going at it with his health and stuff. And that's one thing too, is just when you see my brother, he's gained weight and stuff like that. And if you want to fight your illness, you've got to fight it. You got to take care of yourself. And so that's where you can kind of see, like, it's like, well, the doctors are going to have me do this, but I'm just going to live my regular thing. No, you got to change your lifestyle. You got to change things. And it's so important for people to realize that when you have physical sickness, when your body is physically, it's like its last thing it's trying to tell you, like, you've got a problem. And most of the stuff is hidden emotional trauma, things that you don't want to think about, things that you don't want to look at, people that you don't want to stand up to. That's a big one. I swear to God, so many people don't want to stand up to people. It stresses them out. And so they always put themselves aside, always put themselves aside. They don't prioritize themselves. That's going to eat at yourself. And it's not as a punishment, but it's because you're here to stand for yourself. You're here to be yourself. You're here to be comfortable being yourself and be true to yourself. And then you got to ask yourself, why am I constantly bending over for this person? Why am I always putting myself aside? And it goes deeper into other past lives and stuff, like these roles. But in order to break your patterns, you have to be able to see. And so you have to see, like, I keep on like doing whatever this person wants, even though I don't want to do it. And then people don't know how to stand up for themselves and be assertive or have boundaries. And it makes them really uncomfortable. And that eats people up inside. That is a disease growing inside of you. And you have to be uncomfortable sometimes and say how you feel. That's very vulnerable and it's very uncomfortable. But you have to be true to you, or you're going to be uncomfortable in yourself. You're always going to be, that's one reason why we have so many people who are so sick, is because our society's so sick. I just saw this thing, this picture. This woman had just a picture of her dog tied to a drainage pipe. And she said these neighborhood kids came, got her dog out of her yard, tied its front legs, and tied it to a drainage pipe. The amount of animal cruelty, the amount of hatefulness in our world, and if people can't see, like, we're creating a world of psychopaths. No empathy, no compassion, just out wreaking havoc. Don't give a fuck about anything or anyone. Listening to an animal's cries and laugh about it or something, like to not feel pain from somebody crying at you. It's like, and I mean, we've already got all these little kids going around killing, and I mean, it's crazy. And people got to see that's our society. That's our societal problem. That is like where we've gone wrong. And we are the ones who have to fix it. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's even more pitiful, really, when you've been led the wrong way and you just followed along. That just shows what a lack of identity that our culture has. I just saw this other video where this guy was talking about, I think he was talking about the Roman Empire or something. And he was talking about that they were taught to be compliant and submissive in this creation of this society, and how you had to be, you had to be not you. You had to be what people wanted you to be or whatever. And how we're playing that out again, and how people are just becoming like submitting to societal parameters, which are mental. But we have that, just like, as soon as you start saying something that's odd to everyone else, it's everybody jumps on you. You're crazy. Nobody stops and says, oh, well, wait a minute, let's all think about this for a minute. Okay, let's talk about it. No, you're crazy. Shut the hell up. We're all in agreement over here, and you're crazy. It's like, if we don't keep standing up and allowing ourselves to look crazy and be crazy to these people, they just remain stuck. And I mean, it's a part of what plays out is us standing true in the movement towards the unknown. Which, that is one thing too, is I feel very much like I get up every morning checking for some kind of thing. Like, I feel so close to something shifting, something happening. Like, I feel like, I feel like I'm in the path. I'm in the dark hallway. I've been walking down this dark hallway for a long time. But I feel like a door is about to open. Something's about to open. A light's about to come in and give me a direction. And it's just like I can feel it instinctively. I can feel it inside of me. I can feel like this. It's almost like this excitement or this pressure or something inside of me building. And so I know things are going to be changing. But, and I'm always like, oh, it could change right now. It could change today. Like, I don't feel like, oh, no, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. And even if those messages come into my mind, I always just push them back, which I just saw this other guy, and he was saying that, Oh, he was saying about these people who keep talking to the galactics or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I've seen a couple of videos where these people are saying the motherships are landing. They've been talking to them. I see these videos of these people saying they're talking to. I usually just skip through all those ones. You know, they're talking to Ashtar said this and all that stuff. And for one thing, when you're talking to these other beings, it's telepathy. It's not the same, you know. They don't. I see so many of these people just sit there and write this stuff down, and it's like, well, that if you're writing their interpretation, I would think, because it's not like they're dictating to you. It's not like they're just sitting here and dictating. It's like you hear some words, you could hear some words put together, but it's a feeling. It's like these pictures and these things. It's like reference and pictures and words and stuff. It's like a whole bunch of stuff. That's why I said sometimes it's like, oh, there's a bunch of stuff, and it's like, it's easy to, you know, I don't know, get tripped up or, you know, lose focus or something. But anyways, so this video this guy was saying, he was saying the same thing as me. He's like, if you're communicating with other beings, you know, other aliens or multidimensional beings, ghosts, any of this stuff, it's through telepathy and it's through your mind. And that's why you have this whole thing of like, well, you're crazy. That's only in your head. No, it's not. And so anyways, this guy was saying, all these people, they keep on saying dates and stuff. He said that they don't talk like that. And which I had said that a couple weeks ago. I said that they say things about these people aren't on our like calendar. They don't, I don't know. It's weird. But so you hear all these people doing it, and there's so many because the whole group like accepts it or whatever. And they all do it, whatever, this group. And so he was saying that he feels that they're definitely not talking to who they think they're talking to, which that's been kind of a common thread that has been going for a while. But so they're definitely not talking to who they think they're talking to, and they're talking to some kind of beings that are trying to mislead or get us depressed, like nothing's ever going to happen, like, oh, this weekend, oh, they're landing, it's coming, and for everybody get excited, you know, finally it'll be over, and then the truth will come out, you know. Technology, this big, you know, spring towards the future. And so and then they set these dates, and then the dates come and go, and then it's like, oh my God, nothing's ever going to happen. And so, and that happens with people all the time. They just give up because this date came and it went, well, I guess it's not happening. And it's like, no, they just have the wrong date. And how, I don't know how they come up with these narrowing down these dates. I can't stand it when I have these tarot ones and they're always telling me, oh, this date. And it's like, they can be so accurate on this stuff they're saying, and then they start throwing dates at you. It's like, you're just fucking up by doing that, because you put the data in your head, and then it makes you lose hope over the things, because you think like, well, that was the message, and then it came, and then the date went and the thing didn't happen, so maybe it's not going to happen. But then you start getting all of these signs again, and then it's like you learning how to trust and not be going through somebody else of what their calculations is or what their communication is or something, because you don't know who who or what. You got to learn how to trust your own instincts, your own guidance. And so but anyways, he had said that he thinks that it's kind of like happening is on purpose to mislead people and get people to give up. And he said that the whatever's going to go on with the galactic people it's not going to be for a couple more years. So I have no idea. I don't know. It's not like my information tells me that kind of stuff. It doesn't tell me like, you know, we're landing, we're going to be there, we're coming to see you, or anything like that. And it's always just about, ever since I was a kid, it's always just giving you other perspective. It's just getting in it when you go to for a question, it gives you clarity. And so it's just always adding in perspective to how you see things. It's giving you more, when it gives you more perspective, it makes things not be so uh, hard or so challenging or so sad. It's like you see the purpose, kind of. You see, like, oh, I get it. Oh, I see. You see things different. And so it doesn't get you all beat down and stuff, I think. I think not having God or not being connected to your soul gets these people beat down. Like life isn't worth living when you don't have a connection to something, I guess, because they all just struggle and they just follow each other. But it's like, I don't know if ants do this. I know they follow each other, but do they follow each other into, the depths of hell? And it's kind of like what we got going, but everything in nature plays out. So I'm sure there's something that they just follow each other. I know, like, I've heard that before about the lemmings or whatever, that they just follow each other and they'll just follow each other right off a cliff. Just, there goes one. Well, here I come. Here comes another and another. And so they just keep going and going. Nobody says, hey, wait a minute. If we look down to see what's happening down here, no, they just keep on going. And I don't know I don't know what that issue is, but we're here to fix it. We're here to become independent thinkers and to be more open to information. It's another thing you find is that people are so closed off of our information. Well, you want to put me in the role of the crazy sister and just be like, okay, the crazy sister, like the hippie funk lady who thinks like you go and drink dandelions if you want to feel better about your heart getting back, and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, well, if you looked into it too, you would see. But instead, you're resistant because you're biased because you think I'm just crazy. So why would you look into something that I'm saying until your friends tell you? And then you forget to tell me, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be so rude to you. Yeah, forget about that part. Then, I swear to God, and throughout the rest of the day, it is not that wheezy. Like, I take a deep breath and it's like, oh, it's squeaky. But after I've been up, I swear to God, and I'm coughing and stuff. Oh, and yesterday, we sat outside listening to music all day. I'm not going to just sit in here and be pissed. I'm not going to sit in here and create drama. I'm not going to sit in here and keep messaging. Like, I used to do that. I used to try and fix it. Like, it used to panic me if I wasn't getting along with everybody. And it was such a prison. It was a prison that I created for myself. I was telling my mom yesterday, I said, honestly, when there was a couple of people who stopped talking to me, it was the most freedom I had felt in a long time, because I felt so much like uh, there was a conformity of me. Like, I was worried of being judged. If I really said what I thought, then they would, laugh at me, judge me, and I had been dealing with that for so long. But then when it came, especially to the Great Divide, once the Great Divide happened, then I went in one direction and everybody went in a different direction. Then I became way crazier. But the what was I gonna say? It was something else because well, anyways, everybody they went in one direction, I went in a different direction. And it just fed into the storyline, I guess, of how crazy I was. But but there's something else I was gonna say. I don't know. I feel like things are going fast. That's another thing too. I feel like things are going fast, but I'm moving slow. I feel like that's the thing. Everything feels off. There's no moon. There hasn't been a moon for a couple of nights. Oh yeah, because so I'm not gonna feed into the like message him more and trying to fix it or trying to say anything. It's like, really, seriously, just leave me out of these group messages. When every time that I say something, it's met with the same hostility. It's always met with the same kind of thing. And it's like, there's no room for me in this conversation, so leave me out of it, man. You guys can all talk. Oh God, it's such a crisis. And play the role, play it out, do what you're gonna do. And I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what, my brother's gonna make a quick change. And all of a sudden, comes down to it and he's ready to go, or if he's just going to be like, hey, I'm out, I'm sick of feeling this guilt. I'm sick of feeling shitty. I'm sick of feeling, and people don't talk honestly about that stuff. So the pain that they carry, they shroud it in a smile and they go about their day and act like everything's fine, but really they just want to get away from their pain and guilt and stuff that you carry, and when you get older, you definitely look back and you have a lot of guilt. You have a lot of guilt of not being a better parent. You have guilt of the different pets you own, not being a better parent pet, like different things, not being a better employee, not being a better boss, not being whatever it was, your things. You'll always look back in a critical way at yourself. And then it starts to come out in either anger, shame, guilt, pain. And so that is a part of this aging process, this thing. As people age, they become more caring, they become more representative of the pain inside. Instead of healing the pain inside, they just, well, I'm getting older, and then they carry their pain and trying to hide from it and stuff. But so we have a lot of those things going on. And that's why I said a lot of this stuff is still going to play out, but there's bigger reason, there's a bigger thing to it. Because just like on my thing with them, it's like, Jesus Christ, if he goes, it's going to be so quick that y'all all of a sudden you're going to find out, you're going to suddenly see this. I mean, it's coming out in goddamn songs and stuff like that. And to me, too, it really shows like, oh, well, you can't start this until you get your blood up. Bullshit. You could have been doing that. It would have probably made a big difference. They could have probably done an MRI and seen like, oh, this is working, and kept going. But no, they got to get the money off of this, and they've got to keep the storyline going on this. So anything that goes good with this natural stuff, then or the cleanse, then the other stuff, they're going to be like, oh, well, it was this, it's our gift of the solution, their stuff that they're all making money off of. Like, it just, but also, talking about Nick, then it's going to be, once they see the truth about that, and when you're trusting Cedar Sinai, you're trusting these big wigs that are the ones setting the fucking narrative out. And it's like, yeah, well, it's working. It's working. And so, but all the people that it's working on, they're all going to go to the flip side. They're all going to see the error of their ways. And some are going to carry great pain. Some are going to carry great pain. Like, oh my God, I can't even believe that we didn't do more. I can't believe. And it is a haunting thing. I know somebody who had a kid who got cancer way back. It was in the, like in the 60s and early 60s. And it might have been the late 50s, but it was a real long time ago. And she, the kids were playing, and they ran through the glass door, the sliding glass door. And sliding glass doors used to be made in this splinter glass, apparently. And so he went through the sliding glass door, so it was full of glass, and so he had to get zillions of X-rays. And they had to keep doing X-rays and keep doing X-rays to try and get all the glass out of him. And then all of a sudden he had blood cancer. And she always, and she ended up being married to his doctor. And I think that they both were like, it was all those X-rays and stuff. And it did something to his blood. But she refused. The CHEMO was new. It was like, nobody was doing that yet. It was like it's this new thing. And they told her, that they wanted her to do that could work. And she refused. She said, no, I'm not doing that. But I think it haunted her because then it became such a big thing, and so many people, and people were living. I mean, when that's all you got. Now, though, see, we've expanded. Now we've got more, and it's out of people's own limitation that they can't hear, and out of their biases. You won't listen to your crazy sister. And so it is but we have more. At the time, that's all that there was. But, there's always this thing, did you try everything? Did you try everything? Especially if they go. So I don't know how this storyline's going to play out. I'm still hoping that of the miracle that's going to show him, so it leans him out of the control of the medicine and into his independence, and he starts seeing the miracles behind that. Because even eh, with all of the right things, there's certain things that are there to take you out. Like, you're leaving, that's it. That's what's here to take you out. But there's also, you have storylines where you are learning how to take care of yourself. And it has so much to do also with what you intake. I haven't watched these videos yet. My mom sent them to me yesterday, but I had just seen this other girl talking about, and she was a dietitian. She's a dietitian, or she was bigger title than that. I don't know what, but it was something about nutrition and food. And this guy, I don't know what his is because I haven't watched him yet, but they both kind of say the same things because my mom was telling me. And then I said, oh, you go watch this girl then. And so I brought her up so she could see her. But but I haven't watched her yet. I forgot because I did sit outside all yesterday just chilling in the sun, listening to music with the dogs. So, we stayed out there all day. It was so sunny. The sun, it was cloudy, but the sun was in front of the clouds. So pay attention to that shit. So, and pay attention to how the sky is stretching out. It is so trippy. It is going out. I don't know if it's going out and in and out and in, but it's definitely going out. And so, and there's weird things like the sun suddenly in front of all the clouds. You got all these clouds, but the sun's in front of them. And it's weird shit. So, anyways, let me see back where I was. So I was sitting outside, the people making choices for their own health, and everything has repercussions. Everything that everybody's doing, there's another side. There's a reason why people are doing the things they're doing, and hopefully that they all get to experience the other side. But some people will experience the other side on the other side. So you don't know where their experience ends, where it starts. Like, it's like the chicken and the egg. It's like, and it's like, you could sit there and try and figure it out, but how could you? It's kind of pointless. And I think I must have been sleeping on my face real hard, like on the side. But I didn't feel like I was sleeping last night at all. It felt so weird. But anyways, the storylines playing out is to teach people. And so I don't know who's going to learn what lessons, but you can see all of these things building. You can see everybody, like I had said, it's like locking in their storyline, locking in, like, this is where they're going to learn from. This is where they're going to learn from. Because when the things flip and all of a sudden, whatever it was that they were dealing with, they're going to see it in this way more expansive way, which is going to lead to so many things. Like, I know it's going to be like, why didn't they listen to me? Why wouldn't they listen to anything I was saying when I was telling them? Because that truth is going to be coming out. All these different truths are going to be coming out. And I mean, he literally had no idea. I mean, he still thinks that's crazy that the doctor started the oxy thing. It all started with a prescription pad, like, in and it was so nefarious. It was like they knew what they were doing, and then that also shows like the compliancy of the doctors, because even when the doctors start having the awareness that the patients can get off of it, that it was causing, I mean, it was serious business. It was becoming criminal. Like, people were becoming criminals for this shit. And they just kept on giving it and give a little more, give a little more. And people were stealing it. People were, it became huge. And it destroyed so many mining towns. But those are those little Appalachian towns that they don't want them. The one group didn't want any independence. They didn't want us to be independent. They want us to all be compliant, and they want us to all be scooped up and live in their little lab rat city world. And it takes all of our compliancy to, take their food. Like, it's so bizarre in this weird world, like, where people, like, you really believe that there's not enough space, that the world is overpopulated. You really believe that because we're waiting on the corporation to feed us, that there's not enough food, like we can't figure out how to grow our own food. It's like the lack of independence, the lack of the amount of dependency on this corporate corrupt group of people that is, it's just crazy that they buy into all this shit. The world's overpopulated. Jesus Christ, go fucking travel the world. Go out. Go travel. Go drive places. Stay on the ground. Don't fly over places. The reason you're flying over is because there's nothing there. We are, but well, some of them are little tiny villages and stuff, but that is what we're going to go more towards, is the independence of the little villages, the little townships, the little communities and stuff. We're going to go more into that direction, and we're going to go more into the direction of the people we vibe with. It's going to be built more around people that you vibe with, not trying to force a bunch of people that don't get along to all go in and fight over jobs and fight over food and fight over resources and stuff, fight over opinions, fight over, it's so absurd. And it is, but it is like, where is the same thing? Like, where the doctors, when does it click on? It's the same with the people. When does it click in that you're just divided over bullshit, that you're just arguing and you're being led? Just like I said, that it's like they lead through the news and what they want us to talk about, what they want us to argue about. It's like they're still doing it. Just like, hey, we're going to put the carrot here. You guys all chew on it. We're going to go over here. We're going to put it here. You guys all chew on it. We're just, okay, chew on this one. And go, hurry, it's going to be gone. Chew on this one over here. And it's just like they just keep everybody with their blinders on, being led from one carrot to the next, what they want you to look at, what they want you to think about. And they always have the motivation to create the hostility, so that they want you to feel alone. They don't want you to feel like you have people, because they want you to argue about stupid ass shit, argue about opinions. Well, we're supposed to all have our own opinion. We're not supposed to all share one motherfucking opinion. It's like, how absurd can it fucking get? And that is the compliancy society that they want us to build into, where we're all just a bunch of fucking droids. We all think the same. We all act the same. We all do the same thing. And they got these Hollywood weirdo girls going in and changing their faces into these anime cartoon face. And that's the direction they want us to go, is just this, we all look alike. We all, anybody who doesn't look like that, they all want to just go get surgery. So you can get all these doctors cutting you up and putting your face together for you so you can look like the acceptable person instead of just looking like yourself. And I've talked about this long time ago, but I just thought it was kind of interesting because I saw this girl and I was like, I've talked about this so much. But so she's looking like from the side, kind of, and she's covering her nose, like, but she's showing the rest of her face. And she says something like, people say, you're so pretty if it weren't for that nose. And she is really pretty. And then she takes her hand off of her nose and she's got one of those fucking Roman or Greek noses or something. One of these like fucking power noses. And which just makes her look kind of like a queen or something. She looks like some royalty from Greek times or something. And but that is what I said before when I was talking about it, especially, and I was even specifically talking about noses and girls. and they feel like, that their nose is ugly around all of these people who have a different nose, but you go around people that have a nose like you, and then it's like, oh my God, look at that fucking nose. And you feel confident and feel beautiful because you know what your nose represents or something. And it's just weird because this compliancy of everybody look alike, and then who came up with this anime character? Like, it looks creepy. I don't understand why we all want to look like that. I don't want to look like that. I think it looks weird, and so anyways, the it's kind of like, because in the 2030, and they talk about the shift and how they control our society and how they manipulate us kind of to become something, and how it takes these 4 generations to create the lie, to create the storyline. They can completely trick us. So in 4 generations they will have George Floyd will be a hero. In 4 generations it took them to convince us Martin Luther King was a hero. Like, they do this stuff, and it only takes this long to change the storyline from here to there. And then and in their humanoid, their because that whole agenda had to do with transhumanism. Like, they wanted compliance. They wanted to see like how many people are so uncomfortable, how many people, because the world that they want to create, we're not going there, but the world they want to create was just mindless. We didn't think for ourselves. We've given up our abilities to um, make kids ourselves. We have to have them made in a lab. We've given up our identities and our gender and stuff. And it is more of just this droid, just this empty shell. And then they want to program us to do their work. It's like where they started, and now they're trying to go back to it or something. It's like they're done playing with the toys to see what they will do. Let's just get them back under control and get them back to being mindless slaves that just don't have any life other than going, or whatever life that they want to give us. Like, they're going to give us a life of a 15-minute day where we get to live in a little place, charge us a huge amount because we're going to be paying for our carbon imprint at that point. Still is running. We're going to be paying for our, the air we breathe at that point. They'll take us down to, well, you buy these oxygen tanks, keep them in your house, and breathe that as often as possible. They'll do something. They always do something to limit us and to control us. And we just, the people just keep conforming. And so, yeah, it's going to take some of us to stand up and say, no, I'm not conforming to that. No, I'm not conforming to that. No, you want to conform to death and you want to take off, then that's your choice. But that is not something that has to happen anymore. People can choose to go towards their health. And I think when people are making those choices and going towards their health and caring about themselves and healing themselves, it's going to take them towards the other vibration, towards the newer world that's being created. This other one is like different ways to leave the one that we're in or something. But anyways, I completely, my thing with aging and death is completely changed over this this awakening, this period of time where you start seeing things differently. And it's been a long journey, It's, if you don't see some of the stuff that I see, I mean, I've been going through this since 2016. I would start going through my healing in 2011. It would have been actually in 2009, because I still had to do a lot of healing and I was on my own. I didn't have doctors trying to help me, because then they'd have to admit that something happened. And so they wouldn't do that. And he finally did send me to a neurologist. And I went in to see the neurologist, and all the neurologist wanted to do was say, because my aunt had early onset Alzheimer's, that's what I had. and he wouldn't stop. He wanted all of her medical information. I was like, no, listen, no, we're not doing that. I didn't go into the hospital and suddenly get that. It's like, it's ridiculous. And, and I can't remember. I did go to, oh, yeah. So I didn't see another neurologist. I was on my own at that point, trying to just figure out, like, what the fuck. And then it was when I was getting lost. I was having a lot of things, but I was having, when I started the last job that I had, the one that I loved so much, it was like my whole career was moving. I wanted this job. I finally get it. And I feel like, oh my God, things are so good. But I had already had my brain injury. I was already not supposed to be going in this direction. And so when I would go, I was a lot more of me driving. I felt like a lot more of a social worker than an RN. And I would have to go out and see clients and stuff and go drive them places and take them places and stuff. And, see, and I was very much like, I mean, I'm talking to these beings that you think are, uh, so I'm very much like not, I don't believe in schizophrenia either. And so, also, I think I caused some confusion with some of my clients because I would be like, they would be saying stuff and I'd be like, yeah, that's real. And that just would be like, it's almost like they're like, no, it's not. It's like, yes, it is. And so, anyways, but I started getting lost. It wasn't like I was getting lost. It was weird. I would be driving and I would be, all of a sudden, I would like not know where I was. I would have no idea where I was. And it started freaking me out. Like, I'd be like, how am I sitting here? I don't recognize anything. I don't know where I'm at. And so I had told my doctor, because then I did start thinking, maybe if something is going wrong, maybe I need to figure out, if there's something I need to do or I don't know. I don't remember what I was thinking at the time. And then, so I went in to get this physical, and then she was doing all these tests on me. And I wasn't really thinking that much about it. I just thought it was part of the physical, but she was doing all these weird tests, asking me this weird stuff, and I couldn't answer. I didn't know and stuff. And she said that her girls, for a while now, have been telling her that something's wrong with me. And she said that the girls at the front desk have been telling me something's wrong with you, so I wanted to test you, and you failed all these tests, so I'm sending you to a neuroendocrinologist or whatever it was. And so that's where you go when you start getting tested on they test you on a whole bunch of stuff. It takes days, and you have to do all these tests. And so I went and did that. And then she called me in and she told me to bring family with me so she could go over the test results. And that's when she told me that she had turned me into the state board. She said, I cannot, I would lose my license if I didn't tell them the problem with yours. And she said, so she had to turn me in. And she didn't have any other choice. That started my whole thing of trying to then go to keep working under the Disability Act. And so my job, which was through the state, started paying to have all these tests done on me. And that's when they sent me to another neurologist, and I was getting just tons of tests. And anyways, I had to go through tons and tons of that stuff. And I still lost my license. Even they were threatening me. They were sending me letters saying, if we find out that you were working with a brain injury, or however they said it, however they worded it, that they were going to sue me and stuff. Like I was going to be held accountable. So I just let it all go. I just was like, let it go, let it go, let it go. I didn't try and argue with them or fight with them because I knew that I had been working. Like I was noticing I was making mistakes. I was noticing something was wrong. And so, but then once they did, and once they figured it out, and then I lost my license, then that's when my life really took a tumble. That's when everything started. So there was like a lot of tumbles, a lot. Is then after that, and I started losing everything, and I had gotten married again to number four, and then that whole thing just went so down, went south. Everything in my life just went in a direction of loss. I was going to lose it all because I was supposed to lose it all. I wasn't supposed to go in that direction. It was a downer direction, man. When I look back, I was like, God, I'm so glad. I'm so glad my life turned a different direction. Because, and that's the thing, is so many people, their lives are turning in different directions, and they're very resistant. They're fighting. It's like, I worked so hard to get here. It's like, I'm telling you, I promise you, you get further past it, you get further down, you got to go through the process, you got to go through the release and stuff. Once you get further down, you look back and go like, oh my God, thank God. Thank God that my life didn't keep going in that direction. It was so sucky, but you don't see it. You're just working it. You're trying, and like I said, there's people who go and get degrees. Well, I worked hard to get this degree and I've got it. I've made it this far at this job and I've done this and that. When I left mine, like I had worked all those fucking jobs at the hospital, these shit ass fucking shifts, all that shit. And all I wanted to do was get this job working for the county for the mental health. I wanted that so from the beginning of my nursing thing, when I did my ER rotation, and I had a patient in whatever you want to call them. Red coats are coming into my mind, but the people that come in and talk to the people who are in a mental crisis and try and find them a place to go or decide if they can go home or whatever. Those people, uh, I wanted that job, man. When I saw those people coming in their job and they were there all day working on this and making calls and stuff, I was like, fuck, man, that's the job I want. Just fucking running around, fucking wiping asses and listening to people whine about how sick they are. That's like no fun. And this other one, I don't know. I've always had a thing about mental stuff. The mental world, I've always been thought to be crazy anyways. And so, and then dealing with people who are lost in that crazy world. And some of it is drug induced. Some people give themselves the thing. But anyways, I mean, they're dealing with things that are real and they don't think they're real. And so, anyways, it wasn't my time or place to come in and solve the mental illness crisis or anything. I mean, it's deeper than this, fucking deeper than the cancer one, man. Like you can't even make a wedge in there. But it's when the own people, see, they have to find their motivation. Like you can go into guilt and crisis and, well, this is just what happened. Well, God's mean. Well, sometimes people die. Well, all of that stuff. But you don't see like the backstory. You don't see what your participation in the storyline is. You don't see that you have the ability to make changes in your storyline. Oh, that's a candle. That blinking, I put this candle. I lit this candle. So, anyways, things are just so much more complex, and you just definitely don't know which direction things are going to go. Of how it's going to play out and how close we are. Like, how close are we to these med beds and stuff? Because there's a lot of us, who have people, friends, family, and stuff that are sick. That when they go in those med beds, it's going to be like no more sickness. But see, then they're going to have a whole bunch of stuff of looking at, of like, because the universe isn't going to let up. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like my communication though is not about like that stuff. Even when I will be like, tell me what's going to happen in where I said, I got back. Like if they told you everything that was going to happen, we would go in and we would try and interfere. We would try and change it. We would try and do something. We just got to learn to go with the flow, let things happen as they happen, not try and control it. And so, yeah, I don't ever, when people come in with these dates and stuff, even if I say dates, I'm just like hopeful, like, oh, I hope this date is something. I hope something changes. You got the astrologers talking about dates. You got the galactic people, like, apparently, that they're talking about dates. But I always hear astrologers, and tarot readers, and I don't know. There's channelers that are always saying, "Oh, on this date." There's people who are having uh, what are those called? Premonitions, and they're giving dates. So you got tons of people giving dates. I'll just give them because you never know. Like, you never know this person's premonition on this date that there's going to be a huge volcano can really happen. I find it interesting. And there is a huge volcano coming apparently in Alaska that people are trying to get prepared for. So I don't know what all. I just saw this girl yesterday because I thought I didn't know what I saw about the volcano before, and I didn't know what was going on. But this is the next thing I saw. It's been like almost 2 weeks, I think. And she was saying, well, so how are we supposed to prepare? What are we supposed to do? Can somebody tell me what we're supposed to do to prepare for a volcano? And so she's asking other people in Alaska. And so I was like, man, they've been preparing. You're getting ready for this for a long time. Because I heard, I don't know, it could have been one of those date things too. This date, there's going to be an imminent volcano. So I don't know, because we got the time traveler. He's giving dates too. So I don't know. There's lots of dates. You can always be hopeful, but don't hang your hat on them. Don't put all your energy towards it. Like, well, if it doesn't happen, it's over. This date is the only date we got. It's like, nope, there's always another one coming around the corner. There's always another one. Like, we still have April 2nd, too, where there's supposed to be some big thing. He said, our lives are going to change. And I asked my mom, well, what is the thing that he's saying is going to be so big? Because I'm always hoping for this fucking money crash. Hurry the fuck up. And I saw a guy getting really pissed yesterday, which he seems so much like me. I even went and showed my mom. I said, see, there's lots of people like me. There's lots of people who are over the top. It's like, why do I need to shut myself down so the rest of society can be comfortable? Nope, that's not happening anymore. And he said, yeah, you show us every fucking day all these fucking trillions and trillions of dollars being fucking stolen from us, and you haven't made one motherfucking arrest. When are you gonna fucking start making arrests? This is some fucking bullshit. He even goes in and starts saying, oh, because they're all Jewish or come from Epstein also, which is another thing. And he's like, I'm fucking sick of this shit. It's fucking time for arrest. That's how I feel. Like, it's fucking bullshit, man. I'm like, come on. And so, like, I don't know. You just can keep telling us, yeah, these guys are bad guys. These guys are bad guys. And my mom was all bent on shit because he was bringing somebody on that everybody's getting really mad about because they're the wrong person. They shouldn't be bringing this person. Everybody wants this other person. I said, yeah, but when he does that, you got to remember he's exposing stuff. He's showing you about this person. So however it plays out, you're going to know more about this person. And he brings people on just to show that they're the bad guy and then moves on to somebody else. He's done that. So it's not like he doesn't know who the bad guys are. Like, but they're trying to get us to know who the bad guys are. So you just gotta, go with the flow. Like, when they're coming, don't get all caught up, because she gets all like, I can't even believe it. And I've always got to remind her, like, no, this is just a show. This is a show to get people to see what they haven't seen. I mean, I can try, I drop things like, this is awakening, this is changing consciousness, this is that. But it's always like, this is, we're waiting on the rapture, Jesus is coming and stuff like that. Which still just trips me out, especially when there's so much sadness around death. It's like, but you're waiting on the rapture? I don't know, it's weird. And, because even when, something about the plane getting brought up, like a plane crash or something, I want to just be like, well, I mean, if you're in a rapture, you're going to be going, so just, you're going to have to go somehow, aren't you? So if the plane crashes, it wouldn't be a bad thing, would it? Don't you want out? But anyways, but it's such a different level of how I look at things, and it's such a different level. It's so different than how other people perceive, and yeah, because this death thing is just like you leaving one room and going into another room. It's not real. It's not like a real thing. And everybody gets so caught up in it. It's like, it's not even fucking real. Like, the person's not going anywhere. They're just going to come out of this body, this shell, because I mean, when it comes down to it, I think there's going to be a lot that is going to come down to our free will. Like, we willed ourselves. Like, we want it out. And it isn't like you can make it happen, but it's on these different levels. So you're going to see these sides of yourself. So if you came in to do the storyline, which was hard, and then you were going to end up being like, just give up, like, I just want to give up, succumb, not take care of myself, then that's what you would see when you came over. But that would be the thing you were going to play out. So it's not like you can trick yourself and do the wrong thing. You're always going to do the thing you came here to do. There's like, you don't have any choice. There's no way around it. It happens naturally. It happens automatically. And you can sit and try and, throw stones at it. You can try and disrupt the flow all the time. You can try and control it. Like, I could be in a panic, running down this dark hall, beating on every door, beating everywhere. Please, somebody save me. Somebody help me. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I trust that the door is going to open, and it's going to open right at the right time, because that's how magic works. It knows what time to open, because it knows what lessons you were supposed to learn, and it knows when you learned them, because that's what timing is about. It's the timing. It's the way that things move into each other, how these transits or whatever, these coincidences, these meetings, these coming into and in and out of each other's lives. That is all precision. That is all exact. And so, but that is what time is to me. This time is this, it isn't this other thing that they're trying to sell us. They get us to like get this time structure that it creates like this panic, like we're running out of time. And then they start the countdown of your birthday. Well, you've had this many, so you're on your way out. And then they even start being like, you start getting the older ones, the party favors are like gravestones and shit. So they are, but see, the people in charge here, they want you to opt out. They want you out, because they just want the workers. They just want the worker bees. They don't want anybody in retirement. They don't want anybody who's done working. They just want the people who are working. That's why they want you to get your parents in the nursing homes and stuff, because that's where they have access to do them in, to not give them a healthy life. My mom was telling me, because my one sister, my stepsister, who had, she had attempted to do it herself, and supposedly, but there's other people who said no, somebody else did it to her, but she was found hanging. They brought her back, and they think she was dead for like 15 or 20 minutes or something. Bring her back. And so she has a severe brain injury. But, I mean, it's, I don't have a severe brain injury, I wouldn't say. She has a severe brain injury. And so she's been living in a nursing home since she was young. And my mom was saying that she had seen pictures of her, because because she was always sad before, and now she's happy. So she has a different life and stuff. But my mom was talking about how heavy she is, and I said, because that's how I mean, in the nursing homes and stuff, they're there too. I mean, it's because she's young is why she keeps going. They don't feed the people healthy. They don't take care of them. They load them down with tons of medications and stuff. And they're just there to do them in. And then they make the people so busy that they don't have time to take care of their parents. Well, here, we'll help. The same thing with their fucking inhumane shelters. Everything that they do, like they're going to help us. Nothing was ever to help us. Nothing was ever to make things easier on us. It was all this gameplay. It was all this game plan. It was all this turning us in these certain directions, getting us to see our parents as a burden. I don't have time to take care of that. And then plus to give them all dementia. There's so much dementia and Alzheimer's. Even people who are trying to take care of their parents and stuff are struggling with the ramifications of Alzheimer's and stuff, which there's so much information in the alternative medicine coming out that just take the cleanse, just do the paste, and that will clear all that up. And then also nicotine, he has a role too, and clear that shit up. And then and there's other things that you can do. And I've tried to tell people and stuff, but if you have a parent and you're having to go over and deal with them, like I don't have any way of, taking over my mom's life, and I just change it into the 50s or something. She wants to stay looking at the news and looking at the church stuff and stuff all the time, then that's where she needs to keep her focus or whatever. But if you have somebody who seems to be losing their grip on reality, that there's a lot of studies that showed if you turn on music that was popular, so back when they were younger, the music that they liked, the music that they danced to, then put that music on. That brings them back into a younger state of mind, and they will start representing that. They will start looking younger. So you, just like I was saying yesterday, like when you think about what you want your body to be, think back to where you were healthy, where you were fit, where you felt good, where you were liking yourself. Think back to that and then go towards it. Like, I'm just going to start doing the same shit I was doing then. I was looking good then, so I'm just going to start doing that again. You can do it, even if it's been 40, 50 years. You just have to build yourself back up. You just got to go at it slow. But you can do it. You can build yourself right back up. So don't give up on yourself. This giving up on yourself, this surrendering is something that you'll kick yourself in the ass for once you get to the point of seeing. And so the more that you take care of yourself. But another thing too is set up their house like it was in the 50s. Do everything to get them back to a period of time when they were younger, and they start connecting or grounding or something into that energy, and they start becoming younger. They start feeling better. They start looking better. So there's things that you can do, because there's so much that has to do with our mind. So much has to do with, when you want to heal, you got to have it up in here. You got to have this belief. You got to believe that you have control. You can believe you can heal. You can believe, like, my tooth, if I didn't believe that my tooth could heal, it probably wouldn't heal. It would just, that's also what I've heard, though, about this quantum medbed thing. Like, if you don't believe that the vibration and stuff can heal you, then it won't. And so it is, and they said that too. When I went to the quantum one, when I went down and took Stella to the quantum one in California, they said, if you don't believe it will work, it won't work. You have to believe. So see, it has to do with your mind. And even with all the sicknesses and stuff, you have to believe that you can heal. You not succumb like, well, I'm just, my time's up. That's the way it goes sometimes. And then you get all the people like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Yeah, it makes no sense, because it is, it's not God doing this to us. It's us doing it to ourselves. It's us giving up on ourselves. It's us not facing our darkness. It's us not taking better care of ourselves. It all comes back to us. It's us why our society is dark and dim and scary, and kids killing Hitler. It's us. It's like us not being present. It's not putting more of our energy into families and raising kids and seeing the necessity of a healthy society. And it starts with the kids. Like, we're a part of it, but we have to raise the next ones that are coming in. And so, but there's going to be so much stuff that's going to be changing. I'm telling you, in the future, in this other world, I don't see I mean, people are going to have babies and families and stuff, but it's going to be different. It's not going to be so mindless. Like, well, I'm going to have a baby, and that's going to fix all my problems, and then I'll have somebody love me finally. It's not going to be like that anymore. People are going to see their role, their importance, and it's just going to be a lot more. Things are going to become a lot, the priorities, that's the thing. People's priorities are going to become a lot more stern, a lot more reserved, a lot more it's just gonna be a lot more thoughtful. People are gonna think things through. I mean, right now it's hard to imagine because nobody's thinking, everybody's just following and doing what they're told. And but that's the part, that pain from doing that is what's going to turn things around, where people are like, you know, I mean, there's like a sense of where, at one point you're telling people, well, because I noticed this on Twitter, is that there was you'd say something and you'd have these people, bullshit, show me this, show me that. And for a while, you go and you show them, because I did that on Next Door with that fucking Ted Royal. And I would show him, and Matt Savage, I would show him. And, oh, that's lies, that's lies, that's alternative media, that's bullshit. And they just start laughing at you, thinking you're such an idiot and stuff. And, so I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done showing somebody what I found. I've gone through my steps to see the truth. And if they can't see it, you can hand somebody something and they can't see it, then it's on them. And so then people would start saying, well, show me this, show me that. I would go look for it, go look it up. And people would be so pissed, like, how dare you? How dare you tell me to go look it up? It's because you don't have anything. That's why you're telling me to go look it up. But then there becomes a point where you want to look it up. You don't want, like, oh, you said this? Well, I'm going to go check. I'll look it up. And so you find yourself wanting to look things up, not feeling like, so we're going to have these shifts where people are going to be like, nah, no, I don't need you to tell me. I'll go look it up for myself. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about me. And not be so like, what would you do? What would you do? How should I do this? How should I do that? And we all just, follow along. Somebody show me the way. And so there's going to be, it's going to be a beautiful thing when everybody turns independent, even though it sounds like it would be like, it would seem that it would cause more problems than us all getting along, for us all to become independent and sure of ourselves. But it goes the opposite. We don't need to force our beliefs and stuff on other people when we believe in ourselves. And so when we become sure of ourselves and believe in ourselves, we don't fall apart if somebody doesn't agree with us or believe in us. It's because we have it in ourselves. It's like, your loss, see ya. And so anyways, there's going to be shifts that seem like, oh, how that's not going to be better. It's funny too, because it seems like that would be going more into ego, but really it's going more into balance, more not feeding the ego, because that is what all these people are trying to do, is feed their ego to feel like a good person. The social justice warrior is born. The person who's perfect, the person who does everything. They're thinking about everybody else, never thinking about themselves. They're out there trying to do the work and everybody's fighting them, so the people, is very ego driven in this world. Everybody thinks that they're doing it all. Everybody else is just a big stupid idiot. And, but everything at this time is about this shift. It's about this learning. It's about this growth. And it's, to tip the scales, to go into the light. And so it's all going to happen. It's weird. It's so weird to see, like, that's the kind of stuff I see. I see that kind of stuff. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I see this change happening. My guidance has always been about growth and seeing bigger and not being caught up in the pain and the suffering. And so anyways, I don't know. These other people, they're all like desperately out there asking for to be shown, what's going to happen. But you're doing that out of fear. And what we're supposed to be doing is learning how to go with the flow, learning how to not live in fear, learning how to, just let things be, let things happen. They have a natural way of happening. Let them happen naturally. Stop trying to force things and control things and just let things be. So anyways, there's going to be still more people and more people, trying to figure out, and so many people, like, so many things, like so many different things, like you hear people saying, because you got the new spiritual people saying stuff. You got these quantum leapers now that are saying, like, you got all these different perspectives. And what was that? Because it was the 12. Oh, yeah. Because I saw this video and it was talking about these, like, the Pleiadians, the Lyrians, the Syrians, like all these different groups, all these different beings that have something to do with this place and their DNA. And we have 12 structures of DNA. And so it's like we got a structure or something from all these different philosophies or something. And we're here to bring all of them together. But it's still, it seems like that we have, like our vibration, our color comes from a certain philosophy. Like we aren't all these philosophies. And I don't even know if we have all of them inside of us, or if it is this, if it's the 12, the 12 philosophies, the 12 higher, the 12 original families or whatever. Was that 13? Um, but it is the masters and stuff. Like it's like this, it's like everything is this philosophy to life, how to live, and some think it's through compassion, something through technology, through wisdom, through like there's these different ways of existence or something. That's what the philosophies, the masters, all of that has to do with that. And in us all coming together in unity is coming together in peace of all this information, of all these different ones that, like I said, everybody has a part. There's like all these parts, but we got to come together for all the parts to fit. And but there's not like one answer. It's not like, oh well, it's the Palladian, they knew the truth the whole time, it was always them. No, it's everybody has little bits of what creates the truth. It's like there's not one person holding all the truth. It's all of us coming together is what creates the truth. Yeah, I always see it as like all of us together making something bigger. And this one, it wasn't the teapot. It was a map. It was a map. It was the way things go is all of us come together, and it's the map to life. We all come together in unity, and we have the answers to life. We have the questions we seek, we understand because we have all the information, because we all come together. We're all just holding little bits of information until we all come together. But that's gonna, be going through like that guy probably is right. Like it probably is years. We probably have this slow, long thing to still keep going. Like, I mean, seriously, like they haven't arrested some of these people. They just keep letting this shit play out. Like Nancy's buying up all this stuff. Like it's absurd. Some of this shit is so absurd. And is it so there to create our outrage so they finally do something so we have a big fit? And that's what they're waiting for, is for us to finally say, not just one guy on the internet yelling about it, or 2 or 3, but for us all to, as a group, start saying what we want, something different. Because that is what the awakening is about, is wanting better for yourself, wanting more for yourself. And this, what we have in our society is a bunch of people who don't like themselves. They just accept anything, and they don't give a shit. They're all divisive. They hate everybody. They blame God for everything. And, oh yeah, because that was their big thing too, is to get people to believe that God could make a mistake. You could get put in the wrong body. Like, what the hell? That was the most weirdest shit. I felt weird when I was growing up too, so I can see how they feed off of this, because you're very confused when you're young. But so they feed into that, and that was a part of their transhumanism. They go get us to all be uncomfortable, get us to all switch. Well, at least, a huge amount of generations to get them to switch. So, but it's not going in that direction, or it would have kept going and going and going. But see, the dark is losing its footing. It's losing this game. The light's coming in, the light's shining, the truth on everything. and the truth is being seen. And I was thinking for how this just keeps going and going and going. When they kept saying, like, when we start hearing the truth, it's going to be 24 hours a day, all day long. And they kept saying Donald's going to be on the TV just talking, talking, talking. And he's on the TV all day long, just talking, talking, talking. All day long, we have stuff being released. So I think we're in that time. It's just not the same dramatic thing that they made, like the EBS is going to go off and we're going to have no power. And then when the power comes on, he's just going to be talking. It's like, I think we're in the time. We're in this time of the truth being shown, the disclosure, and there will be arrests. There, probably a lot of the people who were being outraged that they're not arrested, they're probably already done in for. So we're going to still go through their arresting, the outcome. We still have a lot of stuff that's going to be playing out. So there's more to go. It is going to take time. It's not going to all go fast. So yeah, I also don't get how, like, all of a sudden they're just going to come down. We don't even have, like, yeah, I don't know. Because we have a lot of stuff going on as our culture, as our group, as our society. And we have these things with the changing of the power, the money, everything. So I don't know. I don't know when they're coming down. I don't know. I don't know. You just gotta wait and see. It all has a plan. It's all playing out the way it's supposed to play out. God, I've got quite tickle in my chest now. So anyways, I've been talking a long time. So we'll look at the hair thing to see if it's, if that stuff works the way it says that it works. It does seem like there does seem like there'd be more hair. So this is like a week and a couple days. It does seem like it's more hairy there. So that's that. Look at my tooth. Hopefully it's not hairy. That's that. But you also, when you're doing this stuff, you have to believe. Like, if you, your core belief believe in aging, you're going to be fighting that the whole time. If you believe sickness can kill you, you're going to be fighting that the whole time. So you have to work on your belief system. That's, I think, a big part is understanding, you're an orb. You are the energy inside. You feel, you come out, you're going to feel exactly the same. You're not going to feel like you're missing something. You're going to feel exactly the same as you feel. But this thing that everybody else sees, that you look in the mirror and see this reflection, which, oh, that is so trippy too, is the illusion. Which, the thing that's so trippy is I have seen so many of these people doing this, and it is trippy. It is very weird. So they go and they take something in front of the mirror. So they take a big thing and they put it in front of the mirror and block it. And they're on the other side. And then they have somebody standing over here who has an angle to see both sides of the mirror. And the mirror still shows the reflection of the person. This one girl who I saw doing it, she was freaking out. And she's like, how can this be? And she was making all sorts of weird faces. Every single one was in this reflection. In the way that the board was, and she's on either side, and the angle and stuff, it almost looked, I don't know, mirrors are a portal. It looked like two different, it was weird. It's weird. Just go look at some of those videos if you haven't seen them, because it's weird. I don't know how some of these phenomena work. I know that the reflection is a portal. Even when you go into a reflection of self, into a meditation, and you reflect on yourself, is a portal to the new self, is a portal to new information, to new understandings. So, anyways, I don't know. It's trippy, though. It's trippy how this part that doesn't see this part, how is it doing that? Like, how? Like, what? It's so weird. So, anyways, just remember, because I'm telling you, the most important things to be doing is working on you, learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.